think. All right, hi everyone. I'm Brandi Solether. I'm in 6th semester, and I'm going to talk to you guys about an immunocontraceptive project that I've been working on with Dr. French and others for 3 semesters now, I think. So it's been a while. So the study is just looking at ways to control estrus in the donkey population, and why do we have a need for this project? Okay. So on this map right here, you can see all of the little dots are places that there's actually an overpopulation of donkeys, as well as Nevada and Utah, I think, and Nevis does have a lot of donkeys also. So just like any other species that's overpopulated, they kind of can become a nuisance. They can get in gardens, they can ruin crops, they can be taking resources that are needed for other species. So that's where this project comes in and why we're looking to help control this problem. A couple of things about donkeys that you guys might not know that makes them a little bit more prone to overpopulation is that they are a fight species. They don't really have any natural predators. They can easily take out like a mountain lion or something. It can be pretty aggressive. And they also have a full heat a week after they parturiate. So they can theoretically get pregnant right after they have a foal. Some forms of reproductive control that we currently have, so obviously surgery, so castrating, that's an option. There are drugs that we can inject into their testicles, their epididymis, their vas deferens that will cause atrophy, and that will cause them to become infertile. But the things that's not so good about these is that these are permanent and invasive ways of controlling the population. So in theory, if we went over to Nevis and we castrated every jack out there, like that would take care of our overpopulation problem, but then what if they go extinct? You know, we can't really bring them back from that. So that brings us to this project where we're using immunocontraceptives. So what are they? So there's one out there that's a GnRH antagonist, and it basically blocks GnRH from being released, which then in turn blocks luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. So your follicles can't release an ovum and the animal can't get pregnant. But what we are focusing on in this project is the porcine zona pellucida vaccine. So every ovary has a whole bunch of follicles on it that are continually growing, changing, and one of those follicles will become dominant and release an ovum. And on that ovum, there's a zona pellucida that's surrounding it, and it has glycoprotein receptors. And this is what the sperm is binding to cause fertilization. So with this vaccine, it's actually creating antibodies against 3 of those glycoprotein receptors, and they're binding to those receptors and they're not allowing sperm to fertilize. And additionally, there's some research has shown that they decrease the amount of follicles as well. So this has already been used in 112 different species, including equines, but it has never been tested in donkeys. So it's a first for this project. Okay, so what we're doing here at RUS. So about 3 semesters ago, we went over to Nevis and we collected 25 pregnant donkeys and we brought them back. We selected them based on the estimated gestation that they were in. So I think we wanted them to be over 9 months is what we were aiming for. There's some fun pictures of us in Nevis wrangling donkeys, and then this is them on the ferry coming back, which was kind of scary. So we had to wait for all 25 of those donkeys to pull out before we could actually start this project. The reason that we got pregnant donkeys was that we needed to prove that they were fertile. And the only way we could do that is if they were pregnant. Okay, so once they all foaled, we were actually able to separate all the donkeys into their treatment groups and start the project. So we have 3 treatment groups. We have the control group. They're not receiving any vaccine, they're just receiving an adjuvant. So they're just receiving the same immune stimulant that the other 2 groups are receiving, but there should be no control of estrus with that group. And then we have the porcine zona pellucida group, which has already been tested on other species, and we talked about how that worked. And then a new one that we're testing is the recombinant zona pellucida vaccine. So this was made with the intention of being less reactive than the normal porcine zona pellucida vaccine. It only creates antibodies against 2 of the glycoproteins that are on the zona pellucida, and it actually has not been found to be effective in other species. So what we're doing in this project is we're adding another booster to see if we can get a little bit more immune stimulation and hopefully get some estrus control. So this is kind of, I don't know if y'all can see this for a while, but this is a breakdown of our timeline for when they're getting these vaccines. On week 1 of this semester, the recombinant donor-feliciter group received their first vaccine, so right here. And then 5 weeks later, all of the groups received their respective vaccine. And then I think in 2 or 3 weeks, they'll all receive their last booster. And then we're going to wait a certain amount of time, and we're going to put the jacks, we have 3 jacks, which is a non-castrated male donkey. We're going to put all of the jacks in with each treatment group, and then we're going to wait and watch and see when they get pregnant. And that's kind of how we're determining the efficacy of this project. And we're also giving the vaccines in the gluteal muscles. Can anyone think of a reason why? Why would we do that? Travis? Yes, because in wild animal species, we're going to dart them, and that's like the easiest muscle to hit. Okay, so what data are we looking at in this project? So twice a day, volunteers will go out and do just visual checks on all of the donkeys, make sure nobody's dying, nobody has any cuts, everyone looks healthy and happy. And then once a week, we do ultrasound days, and that's where we're ultrasounding their reproductive tract, and we'll go through that later. And then once a week, we do handling/heat detection, which is real fun, and we'll look at that later too. Okay, so heat detection. Donkeys are really not like horses that much, and they're actually really weird in how they present in heat. So I don't have a good video of it, but if you can see kind of here, they're like opening their mouths. That's called mouse flapping or mouth clapping, and they just like clap their mouth, and it's really weird. And then they'll like pin their ears, and they'll look really mad, and sometimes they'll kick at them. So it's very entertaining. So we do this twice a week, and we grade basically what they're showing. So they can be not interested at all in the jacks, they can be aggressively not interested, they can be just clapping, or they can have full-on signs of heat where they're turning and it's like squatting and mouth clapping and kicking and being real weird. So our jacks, I have a fun video for y'all because our jacks are super entertaining. And we have one, his name is Jimmy, and he's very into his job. So this is him when we bring him in twice a week. So it's a crappy video, I'm sorry, but he's there. Just wait for it. So, yeah, he yells at them. He loves his job. Like, he will stick his head through the fence and pull their halters. He's like, please come talk to me. So he's very cute. Okay, so then on Mondays we do transrectal ultrasounds, and we're looking at a few different things to kind of predict where they are, or actually to find out where they are in their heat cycle. We are palpating the uterine tone, so that'll tell us if they're an estrus or diestrus based on if it's like kind of flabby or like more toned. We're looking at the edema score, so I have some videos so we can walk through this so it's not as like abstract, but we're looking at the edema score of the endometrial folds. We are counting the number of follicles as well as measuring dominant follicles, and we are observing for corpus luteums and corpus hemorrhagicus. Okay, so I just have to put this in here. This is my fiance, Travis, and this is like how you're definitely not supposed to palpate. But he is tall and the donkeys are small, so it gets awkward. Okay, so I'm gonna try not to screw this video up. Okay, so this is the bladder that we're passing. And then you just kind of pop on over to, I feel like it's really bad. Okay, so this right here, can y'all see this? Yeah. This is a uterine horn. And so the edema score is like how much, like it looks kind of like a wagon when they have a ton of edema. And so you'll just see like a lot of black and it'll kind of be like flowing out. And then we also measure the diameter of this. So theoretically, with a vaccine that's controlling estrus, there should be no reason for their reproductive organs to do anything, so they'll kind of like get smaller. So we're looking for the diameters to get smaller. So then you just kind of follow the horn around, and then you're waiting for the ovary, and the horn kind of disappears, and then you pop onto an ovary. So here is like a medium-sized follicle, and then there's a couple more follicles over here. So. Cool. Does that make sense, everyone? Okay. And then I have a video of a corpus luteum, if any of y'all would like to see that. So it's this hyperechoic structure right here that's pretty well walled off. That's a corpus luteum. Okay, so other types of collections that we're doing, or data collections, we are drawing blood once a week, and then after the vaccines we draw blood every day for a week. So lots of blood being taken from these donkeys. We're looking at the progesterone levels in them to see if that's kind of correlating with their heat cycles, as well as CD4 and CD8 markers, and we are looking for antibodies to the vaccines. We are also measuring cortisol in them, so we take fecal samples and saliva samples, and we're looking at their stress response related to the vaccine, as well as if maybe there's some immune suppression going on with that recombinant vaccine. Vaccine reactions. So after we give the vaccine, we are ultrasounding them every day for I think 5 days. And we're looking for the amount of damage as well as the thickness in the body wall. So I couldn't get a better picture, but you can kind of see like this line up here is the body wall, and then below it, this is all muscle. So after you give that vaccine, that muscle will just become like completely unorganized and chaotic looking. And so we're kind of looking at that and then if the body wall thickens. Okay, so just to recap everything that we're testing for. So we're looking at, we're testing the efficacy and the duration of these vaccines, and we're doing that by placing the jacks in the pasture and waiting for these donkeys to get pregnant, basically. And then we're looking at the stress response and the reactivity of each vaccine. We're also testing for the antibodies, and we're testing progesterone levels. So what have we found so far? So the recombinant group is the only group that has gotten 2 vaccines. And this is the one that we're like really trying to test and see if it works. So far, 5 out of the 9 donkeys have had abscesses associated with those vaccines. And 2 of them have actually been like pretty significantly lame. We have not seen any changes in like follicular size or the number of follicles, uterine tone, anything like that. This is a video, probably now, of one of the donkeys that's pretty lame. She didn't even want to walk straight. She really wasn't feeling that good. And then in the other 2 groups, they've only received 1 vaccine, but we really haven't seen any changes with them either. We are expecting like more injection site abscesses associated with their second vaccine. So I don't know. So the project is obviously not over yet. So this is kind of all the data we've collected so far, and I look forward to seeing kind of where it goes from here. Does anybody have any questions?